So ex-Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak apologized for maintaining Epstein relationship since 2008 conviction. After the 2008 conviction, Rob, do you have the story? He wrote about it, right? It's not a video interview that happened. So the recently released, where's the, it says page 8 or page 7? What page is that on? Ehud Barak, page 7. Okay. Former Prime Minister Ehud Barak apologized for years-long friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein that included regular correspondence and multiple visits to the disgraced financier's Manhattan apartment, as well as visit to his private island. The former Israeli leader had not been implicated in Epstein's sexual abuse of underage girls and faces no accusations of wrongdoing. But in an exclusive interview with Israel's Channel 12 on Thursday, he said he regretted ever having known Epstein and apologized to all who feel deeply uncomfortable. I'm responsible for all my actions and decisions, and there's definitely room to ask if there wasn't room for more in-depth judgment on my part and a more thorough examination of what the details really are, what exactly happened there. Adam, thoughts on the whole thing?
Sure. Of course he's going to say that because his friend is dead, and that's what he's going to do. But I'm going to give you a different argument on this, Pat, so allow me a couple seconds to roll this out. A lot of people want accountability here. The people want heads to roll. I just don't see it happening because what I'm doing is removing emotion completely from this situation. And I totally empathize and understand why you would get emotional about this. There's underage girls. What's going on the island? Oh my God. The flip side to it is I'm wondering, I'm asking questions. Is Epstein, are they making him into the boogeyman? Are they making him into the devil? You know, we've interviewed people on this show. Andrew Tate, he's a sex trafficking. He wasn't accused of it. I'm sorry, he was accused of it. He wasn't found guilty of it. So we interviewed a lot of Russell Brand. What happened with him? Johnny Depp. I'm just asking, because Epstein is dead, has the story taken a life of its own? I'm just asking this because I watched a great episode yesterday from a guy who I think does a great job. This guy, Coleman Hughes. You know who that is?
No.
Conversations with Coleman. If you see him, you know who it is. He had a conversation on his show, Debunking Epstein Hysteria and the Moral Panic. You ever seen this guy?
Oh, yeah, I have seen this guy.
This guy is cold-blooded, facts, logic, reason, no emotion. And that's what you need in these situations. He dismantled Dave Smith. Now he's having a conversation with this guy, Michael Tracy. Michael Tracy is basically, in my opinion, the anti-Whitney Webb. He's saying, look, I'm just following facts, reason, and logic. Everyone is so hysterical about what happened here. So let me just go down the facts here. Do you know what? I'm not saying what he should have been, what he could have been, what Jeffrey Epstein was actually convicted of. Do you guys know what he was actually?
Well, soliciting prostitution and sleeping with an underage girl.
Correct.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Okay. Correct. But that's
my
it.
emotion.
Sure.
He's a disgusting evil person.
He pled guilty. He took a plea deal to soliciting prostitution of a minor. Allegedly, she was 17, and as he says in this story, it was the day before her 18th birthday. I'm not advocating for that, but you know who is? The 35 states in America who have a 16 and older minor relations thing. Florida is 18. So the allegations of what he was accused of, sex trafficking, conspiracy, sexual abuse, rape, he was never found guilty of that. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying that he couldn't have done it. I'm just saying that we live in a country with rules and laws, and he was never found guilty of that. That's all I'm saying. So the other thing is Ghislaine Maxwell. So if they're going to kill Jeffrey Epstein because he knew all this stuff, and she's his right-hand woman, how's she still alive? If he has all these secrets, and he knows all the black book and all these things, and he knows everything, why haven't they killed her? So if she knows everything, if she's the assistant to the devil incarnate, how's she still talking? How's she still walking? So I'm not on team Jeffrey Epstein at all. Absolute dirtbag. I'm not on team Ghislaine at all. You know, some people are making a name these days, but I'm just asking questions. I'm simply asking questions and it's this. Have we made Jeffrey Epstein the boogeyman and devil, when you look in a court of law, he's never been found guilty of these things. So we're all speculating, we're using wild emotions, and it's taken a life of its own, and I get it. It's fun to do. And also, he can't sue for libel or slander when he's dead. But if she knew every secret about Jeffrey Epstein, why are they still allowing her to live? That's my question.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think a dark world only exists in movies, or do you think it exists in real life as well?
Obviously, it exists in real life.
Okay. But actually think about the last 50 years. What is the darkest thing that got exposed? What is the darkest thing that got exposed in the last 50 years in America?
5-0?
50 years. Since, let's just go in 1960. What's the darkest thing?
Possibly that our government or CIA or somebody took out a president.
I actually don't think that's, I think that's bad, malicious, which, leaders have been killed for many years. It's not like, I don't know what it was. It was the Roman Empire.
Et tu, Brute?
Yeah.
They all stabbed.
Pico gave me the stat, like 38 emperors were replaced by you can go pull up the stat, 32, 33 by the sword. That happens.
COVID?
If you become a leader, mob, president, kid. Well, give me dark, exposed that we know for a fact it happened. All sides agree it happened. Last 50 years.
Well,
Like
certainly
MG Ultra?
child sex trafficking, no doubt. Whatever's happened.
No,
child sex trafficking.
but give it to me. Which one?
Well, the Catholic Church, for sure.
Okay, so Catholic Church, young boys.
I'm not just going to skip over that. What they did was genuinely disgusting.
Perfect. You're right. So that's 50 years.
And they covered it up.
Perfect point. That's one of them. What else?
Like way worse than Epstein.
The gymnast or
the gymnast Nasser.
Underage girls.
Underage girl. Okay, that's two. What else?
Yeah.
50 years, guys. What else?
What has been the worst things that have been uncovered?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever you want to call it.
I would say
COVID,
the Catholic Church is probably top three because it's underage boys. What happened? Top three, and they kept it.
Yeah.
Sandusky. Okay.
No, that's not top
That's
three.
not. But what else?
No.
Actually, by the way, you know what point I'm trying to make? It's not that many. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Watergate? What's Watergate? I mean, what Obama did is worse than Watergate.
Well,
investigating Trump and what they were doing to Trump, that's worse than Watergate.
If you focus on America,
that's amateur to us right now.
If you focus on America, thank God we don't have that many.
But why though?
Because the rest of the world is way more barbaric and chaotic than America. So if we want to, we don't even know. We have no clue what happened in Rwanda.
Yeah.
We have no clue what happened with actual genocides. What's going on in Sudan right now? So we get so hysterical.
I'm asking this question because to me, I go by stats, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We made the video about what religion creates more wealth and produces results and produce safer societies. Number one is Christianity. It's not even close. Number one is Christianity. Christianity is so amazing that even Jews, Muslims, every other religion wants to come and live here. Hindu, you name it, they want to live under Christianity, let in the right values and principles because they feel the safest, right? So if you go look at that, you have to realize any city you run, you can't expect there won't be crime. Any city you run, you can't expect there won't be things that'll happen. You run a military unit, stuff's going to happen. You run a company, stuff's going to happen. I remember when my office was small, I had 10, 20 agents, nothing would happen. I got to 100 agents, I started getting calls for DUI. Once every quarter, somebody got a DUI. What's up? Come pick them up. Then when we got to 1,000, weird things happened. Then we got to 10,000, some of the stores' compliance would break me. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, listen, guys, terminate him, make an example of him. We're not going to do this. Let's spread the word so everybody knows this is not the behavior we're going to accept. But it still happened, right? So to me, the argument you're making to say, here's what he was accused of, here's what he got arrested for, it's not like it's that big of it. It's bad, but it's not like it's that big of a deal. Dude, you can't convince me Leon Black paid him $170 million of consulting fee because Epstein is the most brilliant accountant in the world that's going to help him out with taxes. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me, a painting of the number one leader of the free world, Bill Clinton, is in his house right next to the bathroom where I verified with Michael Wolff, who recorded 100 hours at his place, and I asked who else came to the apartment while you would be there sitting there talking to Epstein. Bill Gates showed up. I said, is that painting of Bill Clinton in the house actually, or is that just an AI BS? He says, no, that's actually in the house. Michael Wolff is pro Bill Clinton. Who the hell would, if you ever put a painting of me in your house, okay, in a dress, do you know what I would do to you? I would say, hey, Do what you want. Don't ever come around me. Don't ever come build a relationship. Don't ever do any of that kind of stuff. We don't have a relationship together anymore. It's a done deal. Who would do that? Is it a reminder that every time you come in, I own you? I don't know. But to ask those questions and get deeper, and you see some of these emails, there are a lot of weird things that's going on that even the average guy that is not into this stuff saying, this is weird. This is weird. And it's getting weirder and weirder. What is the only topic that's making everybody uncomfortable? By the way, last time we had some friends and family over, and one of the girls last night asked me a question, says, I've dug up the stuff, and I think Trump is implicated because in the Epstein files, because I think this, and that. And this is a very, very smart girl that brought this up to me. And I said, you know what? I look at all the options, and I weigh them out. Rob, do you have that clip from Trump against Hillary Clinton debate in 2015? Let's say if you had something. Okay, I want you to think about this for a second. Vinny, Adam, Tom, and the rest of the world, you love Trump, you don't love Trump, wherever you are, it is what it is. Imagine you're going up against somebody in a debate whose husband was a president before, who a lot of people in the White House liked him. He was a two-term president who was known for being a womanizer, got caught with a girl in his office named Monica Lewinsky that he had to come and light first. I have never. And then I apologize. I take responsibility and all the other stuff that happened afterwards.
And it was wrong.
His wife is trying to be a president. His wife and the other people that ran afterwards that became president are friends, and they all hate this guy named Donald Trump. You ran the FBI. You know the Epstein files. You know what's in it. It's been running for 4 years. And the guy that you're debating decides to do this in a debate. Play this clip. People have forgotten this clip. Go ahead, Rob.
Jeff from Ohio asks on Facebook, Trump says the campaign has changed him. When did that happen? So, Mr. Trump, let me add to that. When you walked off that bus at age 59, were you a different man, or did that behavior continue until just recently? And you have 2 minutes for this.
As I told you, that was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it.
This is the part about grabbing by the...
I am a person who has great respect for people, for my family, for the people of this country, and certainly I'm not proud of it. But that was something that happened. If you look at Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women. So you can say any way you want to say it, but Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women.
Wait for it, folks.
And attacked them viciously. 4 of them here tonight. One of the women, who is a wonderful woman,
shocked on
at
this
12
day.
years old, was raped at 12. Her client, she represented, got him off, and she's seen laughing on 2 separate occasions, laughing at the girl who was raped. Kathy Shelton, that young woman, is here with us tonight. So don't tell me about words. I apologize for those words. But it is things that people say. But what President Clinton did, he was impeached. He lost his license to practice law. He had to pay an $850,000 fine to one of the women.
He's in the audience.
Wow.
Paula Jones, who's also here tonight.
Wow.
And I will tell you that
Did America forget this
Hillary
day?
brings up a point like that, and she talks about words that I said 11 years ago.
Wow.
I think it's disgraceful, and I think she should be ashamed of herself, if you want to know the truth.
Okay, pause it right here. Let me ask you guys a question. This scene happened. The world erupts. Okay? Who's Hillary calling right after this meeting? What's the first phone call? I have my first phone call. Who do you think she's calling? Call me. Hey, what dirt do you have on this guy? What do we have? How come they never brought anything out? How come they had to revert to a Russia collusion that ended up being fake that they spent some $35 million on? How come they did not? If you were in the Epstein files and you had done something, would you be this bold?
Nope.
Would you bring those girls? Do you know who's ever done this in the history of mankind? To bring the girls rapist, the 12-year-old that said Hillary laughed in their face twice. Who would do that? After he was accused of the, grab him by what was the guy's name? Billy Bush, or I don't know what the
Billy
guy's name.
Bush.
Who would do this? And still nothing. By the way, check this out. Oh, well, that's why he won. But Biden got in. And do you think when Biden got in, they don't have 4 years to destroy this guy's life with this? Instead, what did they do? E.G. and Carroll? They try to take all his cash to deplete his funds, to say Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million, where right now Ken Griffin is building a house in Palm Beach. You know what it's estimated his house to be? Ken Griffin's building a house right now in Palm Beach down the street from Mar-a-Lago that's 50,000 square feet. It's $1 billion house. What? Ken Griffin. Type in Ken Griffin, 50,000 square feet, Palm Beach. This is the first $1 billion home in America. And they said Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. So look, I get right there. Look at this. Inside Ken Griffin's
$1 billion house.
Building $1 billion mega state in Palm Beach. Yeah, Mar-a-Lago's only worth $18 million. You have to realize, like, these are the things that people are quick to forget. So for me, as they're going through this, you know, and you wonder, Andy Frisella, who's very good at what he does, successful entrepreneur, said something. He says, I believe he's doing this because, I'm paraphrasing what he said, you know, almost causing Democrats to come out and to like, hey, he's baiting them, right? Almost like to come out and say, hey, we want to see the files and we want to do this. And I've heard that conversation in the last 6 months. A lot of people have talked about that. But he explains what he thinks he's intentionally infuriating the masses. And he's a guy that's a successful entrepreneur himself. Could he be doing that? Is he begging them to release it? Is he? I don't know. Is this going to get Pam Bondi fired to the point where they're going to step aside? I don't know. Tom, where are you at with this?
Well, I go back to the very simple truth. If the Dems had it, they would have used it. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yep.
You know, they knew what was going on. There were two things that they knew very, very clearly. Ann Coulter talked about traveling with the press pool. You remember what she said? She said 2 weeks before the election, there were Democrat operatives that she knew that were nervous because in 2016, the size of the Trump crowds and the lack of size of the Hillary crowds. Remember we would see it? Mm-hmm. And Ann talked about it, says they were getting nervous. They were like, wow, what's going on here? Is there something that's closing the gap? And at those moments, they would have, if they had it, Pat, they would have used it. They had to create Russia. The other thing I go back to on Epstein, and Adam, you brought up something about what he pleaded to. You have to go in and look deeper at that plea agreement, Adam. There were 4 women that were also under arrest that worked with Epstein. There was a massage, a scheduler, a secretary, a madam, and not Madam G. Yeah. And they were all given, ready for this, Pat? Immunity and immunity for any potential co-conspirators. And by the way, why would you give the co-conspirator, why would you name co-conspirators of a scheduler, of a masseuse, of a secretary? Why? The answer was, that's why Jeffrey Epstein got the sweet plea deal. Because the names that were on those girls' lips, those women that worked there, was long and distinguished. Yep. And that's how he got the sweetheart deal. Because someone dropped the dime on Acosta and told him, wait a minute, you know,
he works for intelligence.
Yeah,
he works for intelligence.
He belongs to, remember the phrase we saw? Epstein, belongs to intelligence.
Which one?
And exactly. And so they said, you have to plea as a sex offender. You got to do 13 months at Palm Beach County Jail, down the street from his house. He didn't even go to a prison. That plea deal had just disgusting privilege written all over it. And so how do I read it, Pat? I read Hillary and the Dems, if they had it, they would have used it. And that plea deal was just a ticking, it wasn't a plea deal, it was a ticking time bomb.
So I'll agree with Tom on one point and then maybe push back on another. I fully agree that if the Democrats had something on Trump, they would use it now. By the way, every single name, and correct me if I'm wrong, from Bill Clinton to Ehud Barak to every other person, are they on the left, center, or right? They're on the left.
Yep.
What's that?
Yeah, left.
Ehud Barak was Prime Minister of Israel during the Clinton years. They were homies. You know who's not in the Epstein files? Netanyahu. Because Epstein, I know he said, oh, it's not left, it's not right, it's all about the green. He's hanging out with the who's who. But if you look at Hollywood, who's the who and who's the president at the time, they're mostly on the left. So I fully agree with Tom that if they had something on Trump, they would use it by now. No doubt. The second thing I would say, and this, I get this, is people are going to be like, have you no heart? Have you no shame? That's not what this is. There's something in America called the law and justice system, and it's not what you feel. It's not what you know. Everybody knows it's what you can prove in court.
You're right. Yeah.
And if you can't prove it in court, it is what it is. Well, and this is ultimately why I don't think
always
everybody, all these names that we're worked up about, I just don't see anything happening.
That's the part.
Because they're not going to
Adam,
get to court.
People
and that sucks. I get it.
I got to interrupt.
But this is a justice
something.
system.
Can I
I'm
offer
actually
something
not
real quick,
disagreeing.
Pat?
I'll come to you, Tom. That's the part that the average person gets upset about, where O.J. Simpson got freed. Why? Because he has money and he's O.J. Simpson, right? So,
and we all know that he most likely.
Now we know he did it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
O.J.
You know, Sacha Baron Cohen proved it that he did it, and it was he was the best lawyer out of all of them. But you know, I don't know. You're
What
right
justice
with the law.
system would
You're
you
right.
would you trade for America?
Zero.
Romania,
Nothing.
China,
none
Iran.
Of none of
So
it.
there's going to be
But-
leaks and.
But I will tell you, the trust for the justice system goes down when people don't get arrested, and people don't get caught, and people don't get and they constantly get away with it.
Yeah.
There needs to be something. We said they were showing pictures of us of Jelaine Maxwell. It looks nothing like
That looks
her, right?
absolutely nothing
Her nose is different. All this
Really?
other
What
stuff
does
is
she look
different.
like?
You haven't seen a picture,
Your
Rob? I
nose
think you
doesn't
just.
gain weight.
Yeah, it looks like
Your nose-
she actually looks like a man in the pictures. It doesn't even look like Ghislaine.
So what does that mean?
Look at this.
I don't know. I mean, that's the person on the right is the one that pled the fifth. You hear these types of stories,
Yeah,
Rob.
I get
you
it,
can
but
go
it's
back
also
to
like,
it.
look at Rosie O'Donnell 20 years ago. Look at her now.
But your
Slob.
nose and your ears don't.
And FYI,
She looks horrible. I get it.
So
She's in
go,
jail.
Tom, go ahead. Make your thought, then I'm going to go to the next story.
It's just one point, not on this. It's on plea deals. Plea deals were conceived when you did have more than enough evidence to convict. And then they said, okay, to give you the certainty, say, look, Pat, we got you here on the tax evasion. We got you on 5 counts. It's going to be 10 years for 5 counts. Wait a minute. I will take a plea deal right now, and we will save. It's called saving the people's time and saving the people's money. And so Pat pays a fine. I'm going to, or anybody, I'm hypothetically here. And then you take the plea deal. Plea deals are put in place, Adam, when you have more than enough to convict. It's the equivalent. It's the criminal equivalent of the settlement in court. When the asbestos case is about to go to court, the evidence is so overwhelming, and the entire industry says, stop. We want to make a deal right now. In other words, they pushed it up to the end, and when they're about to go over the waterfall, they say, what do we need to do? $8 billion to the victims of asbestos. Done. And they did it.
Yeah.
Plea deals happen when you have more than enough evidence.
Yeah.
I get it.
So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen here. Obviously, it doesn't look like the story's going away, so we'll continue talking about it as it does come up. This right here, by the way, these things cost $700 for each to make. They're all custom made. Listen to how heavy it is. Ready? This is very heavy. You can hurt somebody with this. Someone officially crossed 5,000 Menex, the fastest in a history of Menex, even faster than me. She crushes it on Menex. She keeps winning the super heavyweight champion of Menex on a monthly basis. Shout out to Lindy Lee.
Lindy.
She just crossed 5,000.
That's crazy.
2 weeks ago, and she's already at 5,514 Menex that she's done. Lindy, this is on its way to you. For some of you guys that have questions, especially the conversations we have with Lindy, ask Lindy about the room she's been in with Hillary, Kamala, all these other guys raising money for the Democratic Party. She's got a lot of insight. Congratulations, Lindy. You officially get the first. Now the next one is the black one, which I just crossed 10,000 Menex myself. So this also happened. This works. It's funny when I'm looking at how much, the amount of, connections you can build with people, but respect to Lindy. Also, you know who quietly just passed Menex yesterday at 5,000? Guy named Adam Sosting just also
there
passed
we
5,000.
go.
But yours will come in. He just crossed 5,000 Menex. I sent it to
Nice.
you yesterday. Yours is being customly made. Lindy, this will be shipped out to you here very soon. You're amazing. Keep at it. And by the way, guys, just recently, Andrew Wilson is now responding on Menex. Alex Jones is on Menex. You got a bunch of different people if you guys want to ask him questions. Kasperi and Emily Austin, Cuomo, a bunch of these guys responding to Menex. But Lindy is officially at 5,000 plus Menex. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.